Hey guys, welcome to the True Blue Riffcast with your hosts, Jeremy and Dave. My name is Christine DeBelle, but many of you know me as Susan from A Talking Cat. And as you know, I have to go and get my cheese puffs out of the oven. So have a great time with Jeremy and Dave. See you soon.
Thanks, Christine. I am Jeremy, and this is the True Blue Riffcast, and with me is always...
Wait, with you is always.
With me you as always.
Yes, no, we're not coming.
Let's try that again.
We're not coming back from the edit for that one. Hi, I'm Dave.
Every time, Dave. Every time. Today we are joined by a very special guest. He's the social media guy for RiffTrax and the recipient of massive amounts of delivery fast food from his friends. Welcome to the podcast, Peter Hunter.
Hi, I'd like to mention that I ate spaghetti squash and a salad and steamed peas for dinner tonight. I'm not a monster, but my friends are.
You didn't eat the 50 cheeseburgers?
No, those are currently occupying all of my freezer. So that's going to be an endeavor throughout the next 2 months, probably.
I'd say, who brought you that? Those are your friends?
Look, he's a very old and dear friend, and he likes to weaponize cheap fast food against us to bring himself joy, and that's fine.
Oh my god. Is his name Connor Listoka?
No. Connor wouldn't be quantity. It would be quality. I think for a lot of people it'd be quality, but he is quantity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he sent you like $20 worth of chicken strips the other day.
2 weeks ago it was 200 chicken nuggets, and then this week it was 50 McDonald's cheeseburgers and 12 orders of popcorn chicken from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I'm sorry, that's amazing.
I mean, the first response from everyone is like, I want a friend like that. But then I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's my entire freezer now.
Thank you, Peter's friend. That is beautiful.
His name is Matt. Thanks, Matt. Hi, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. Now, we do have a couple questions for you.
All right, shoot.
The first is the one that we like to ask all of our guests. If you could only have 3 riffs for the rest of your life, if you were trapped on a desert island and you could only have 3 riffs with you, what would you want to be stuck with?
I mean, it's a tricky question, and there are so many wonderful riffs to choose from available at rifftrax.com. But I would start with one where I genuinely enjoy watching the movie being riffed, and that is Miami Connection. I will go with the live version, not the studio version. So that'll be the first one. Because, I'm going to be alone on a desert island. I'm going to need some friends through eternity. YK Kim will teach me Kung Fu. I'll grow as a person probably before I starve to death, as it goes. Yeah. After that, I would have to pick, because this was my first RiffTrax, I'd have to pick Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Nice.
I still remember finding this in the DVD section of Streetlight Records where I went to college, and being like, what? The MST3K still exists, and my life changed from there on out. So definitely Plan 9 from Outer Space. Edward's best movie.
Okay, I have a question. I have a question about this, because Jeremy, you found RiffTrax in the DVD store as well. Now Peter has. Everybody has a story about how they found RiffTrax in the DVD store. How come it seems like I'm the only person who hasn't done that? I just found them on the internet.
Well, you were Googling better than the rest of us.
Yeah. I'll be like, I feel like I've missed out on this important part of the RiffTrax experience of stumbling upon something in the DVD store. I feel left out.
Hey, if you go to the right convention, you could find a bootleg RiffTrax DVD and discover it that way. So there you go. We know when conventions are a thing again.
Yeah.
They might not ever be.
Yeah, well, we'll see. There might be people via Zoom selling bootleg RiffTrax DVDs. We don't know. But for my last Desert Island riff, this, I believe, will be a controversial choice, but I stick by it, and that'll be Anaconda. One of my favorite live shows, and again, a movie I enjoy watching without the riff. It's a fantastic riff. I think one of our most underrated live shows, in my humble opinion. So yeah, those would be my 3 desert island riffs.
Halloween 2014.
So some pretty solid choices.
I like to think so.
Yeah, I enjoyed Anaconda. I think I liked it better than Godzilla.
Okay, now here is my opportunity to complain about the theaters doing Riff Tracks live, because Jeremy does it every single time. But here's my opportunity to do it. When I went to in 2014, when Anaconda, I took my nieces, and I used to take like my whole family to Riff Tracks live until they decided that they weren't interested in it anymore. But I used to just buy like 7 to 10 tickets and just take everybody and go. It was like a great fun. And it was the first time I took my nieces to Riff Tracks live, and the theater bungled it quite badly. They like started it like halfway through because we're in Mountain Time, and they like cut it on like if you go a little bit early, they're already showing the live feed. But when like 7 o'clock our time comes around, they'll like kick the feed back. They went to kick the feed back, and it never came back on.
Oof.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it was it came back on, but it was just like a whole 20. So like all the electricity from just like, all the electricity from the live shows that is generated, it was just gone. And the whole time I'm just like really pissed off. So that was just kind of like the worst Riff Tracks live experience for me. It's got nothing to do with Riff Tracks or Anaconda. I was just very upset with my theater that
night. Yeah, I mean, it unfortunately it happens, when you've got so many different theaters carrying it with so many staff, some of which probably haven't done something like this before, since it's a pretty high turnover job.
Yeah,
like stuff like this happens. It happens every time. It's unfortunate. It's kind of why we strive to make all of our live shows also available as VODs and DVDs after the fact, just so we can make sure people can end up seeing the live show. Yeah. But it happens. I'm sorry it happened. I wasn't employed at Riff Tracks at the time, so it's not my fault in any way. But I'm sorry that happened. It was a fun live show. I'm sorry you missed out.
But you know what I recommend? I recommend going to see it live in Nashville. I've done that. I've been there. It's a great time.
Dave.
Jeremy, have you done that?
God. You know what, Dave?
Okay, I'm done.
He likes to rub that in every chance he gets.
I believe was that Mothra you were at?
Yeah, it was Mothra.
Oh yeah, I was also there. It was a very fun live show. So sorry, Jeremy.
Let's talk about the newest release from Riff Tracks.
Oh God, do we have to?
A wonderful little movie from Full Moon for 2001, 2002, somewhere around there. Stitches.
Yes.
Weird movie about a demon dressing up like a grandma in an indeterminate year.
Yeah.
And tormenting people in a bed and breakfast. Turning them into little paper dolls.
It was an experience. Now, Peter, I understand that you were quite fascinated with this movie and that you were very keen on discussing it. Tell me, what do you find fascinating about all of this? Because I find it fascinating as well. But
there's a lot of things about it that are just really bizarre to me. I'd say this is very much unlike a lot of the low budget horror movies that come across us. And frankly, it's like barely a horror movie. Like, I struggle to call it a horror movie. There's almost no score in it. All of the actors have like one emotional speed that's throughout the entire thing. The antagonist is like a sassy grandma who should be playing like a second grade teacher on like a sitcom. Like, I don't understand why she's Satan in this. She's Satan, but she's like crafted a skin of an old lady that she's in to turn all of these people into paper dolls with like special effects out of the Puppet Master series and the vocal tracks of like the Chipmunks. There's this weird Christian theme throughout it that doesn't really followed up, and it's kind of paid off like right at the end.
You think it's going to be like, do you believe in God thing, or something to do with God or belief, or does God really hate the devil or something? And then it'll just taper off, and then it's just like it never comes back again.
Yeah, it's not a good movie. I will go out on a limb and say it's not very good. And yeah, I just don't know who this movie was for. Like with some of the B movies, like I get why like Mind Ripper was made. I see that there's an audience for Mind Ripper. I don't know who this is for. I really don't. Like, is it for children? Is it supposed to scare children?
I have a theory, and it's that it's very much like a lot of the movies that are done on RiffTrax, is that they had to make it like for some kind of tax purpose, or like it was just like, okay, this is the next movie on the dock, or okay, you know how famously the Fantastic Four movie, the very first one, the Roger Corman one, was made so that they didn't lose the movie rights or something like that. Like that's the lore behind the old Fantastic Four movie. Mm-hmm. This movie, I think, like it was made, but it was made to fulfill some kind of contractual obligations to like a bunch of different people or actors or producers. And now Jeremy, did you say that this was released in theaters?
Yeah, one source said theaters, but the more I looked into it, it just says direct to video. So
okay,
it may have had like a limited theatrical release. Yeah. Just looking at the print, it's not a theater print at all.
No, that's definitely a direct to video print. Yeah. Now it's funny that you brought up that it had effects straight out of the Puppet Master series, because the director of this movie and writer of this movie also wrote Retro Puppet Master.
Oh God.
See, I don't know why that makes sense to me, but it does.
Oh, it definitely does make sense.
Yeah,
lots of questionable accents that change throughout the movie. Like tiny things stabbing people. The Retro Puppet Master was a movie I actually sought out before it was Rift, because when you go to Greg Sestero's IMDb, it's one of the only things there, and I had to see it.
Yeah, he talks about it in The Disaster Artist.
Yeah, so I saw this when I was in like college. Like after we saw The Room, we sought out the documentary Tommy Wiseau made, which we couldn't find, and then the Retro Puppet Master, and it's Retro Puppet Master.
Yeah,
Greg Sestero is a very nice person, but I mean it's not great. So it's not surprising at all that these came from the same creative void.
Right.
So, well, let's talk about what actually happens in the movie. So it starts off with, I guess they're in hell, and it shows Grandma Satan, or she's like, I don't think she's Satan. I think she's like Satan adjacent. She's
we've been calling her Nana Satan. Yeah. You know, it's close enough.
Yeah. So Nana Satan is making an old lady suit, and she puts it on and I guess stitches it up in the back. That's where the title comes from. And she goes to this bed and breakfast with the Babadooks, and they never show back up. And there are all these people, and I didn't know any of their names for most of the movie. I think I knew the dude's name at the very end. His name was like Mr. McAllister or something. I don't remember. And
Mr. Gray?
Yeah, Mr. Gray.
50 Shades of Grey riff with him.
Yeah,
I'm reading 50 Shades of Me.
Yeah.
But I guess he's supposed to be the main character, even though we don't see him at all, except at the beginning of the movie and at the end of the movie. So her first kill is with the guy who didn't believe in God.
Mr. Reynolds, I think his name was.
And she she after affected him into the sewing machine. And the next morning, like, well, guess he caught an early train, derp.
Yeah.
And then, now, okay, there's a very specific scene in the movie that I want to talk about, and I'm not sure if it's a couple of kills later or if it's the next kill, but we'll just jump ahead to that. Okay, so when Grandma Satan takes the form of horny guy's not his wife, but like not Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, the school teacher. She'd be like, goes to this woman's husband, and she'd be like, "I want you to do me." Only she doesn't say "do." It's like the one F word they could use in the movie. So come to my room. Okay, so he does that, and he starts kissing her. And it was established earlier in the movie that she keeps a loaded gun under her pillow. I'm not sure why. But anyway, she's like, like obviously, like stop kissing me, bro. Like no good anymore. No matter what I said before, right? At that point, he should get the hint. But he keeps going, and she grabs the gun and shoots him at point blank range in the chest. Okay, his blood is everywhere. I thought he was dead. And then she goes and she gets Grandma Satan. Grandma Satan comes back and he's still alive. And I'm like, you should be dead. Like, how did he survive that? And he's speaking perfectly. He's acting like, for someone who just got shot in the chest, he's speaking in like he's taking full breaths. It's speaking like he seems only mildly annoyed that his blood is everywhere and that he's bleeding to death, and that it's just not. I don't know what to make of that scene. And then she's like, "Well, hey, Mr. Horny Guy, you're gonna bleed out, so you want to be one of my paper slaves or whatever?" And he's like, "Okay, sure," right? And then that's it. So my question to you guys would be, how did he survive that gunshot wound to the chest?
Because B movie. That's my answer.
Yeah, well, I will. Okay. The movie establishes this stupid bad logic, so I will defend it. Basically, okay. Like Nana Satan has to make everyone accept like a favor, and then she can like turn them into paper dolls.
Okay.
So her favor to the Mr. Shot in the chest is that she'll let him live, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll do that if like for anything." And then she turns him into a paper doll after that, because he accepted the favor of like not dying, which is like it's kind of a catch-22 because you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But whatever.
It was right around this point in the movie where my wife came into the room, and she sat down on the couch, and she started watching it, and she looked at me and she said, "So what's going on?" And I looked back at her and I just kind of shrugged and said, "I don't know. I'm not really sure. Like, it's just people being turned into little paper dolls with screaming faces." And she just went, "Okay, so I'm not actually missing anything then."
Like, no, you're really not.
No, you're not.
And the rest of the movie is she goes through the rest of them one by one, and at the end, she, like the maid who's been verbally abused this whole time, she's the second to last to get paper dolled. But she's being like, "Oh yes, I'm going to be the queen now." So like a big twist is that, oh no, she's evil, but she just gets screwed like everybody else.
Yep.
And then Mr. Gray, he ends up, so I guess Grandma Satan wins, and then okay, see you later. Like, oh, that's how it ends. And the question on everyone's mind is, what year does this take place in? We don't even need a year. Just give us a decade.
Yeah, we're not sure. We're really not sure. Maybe the original script has a note in it about the year, but we really don't know. I can confirm internally we do not know what year this movie takes place in.
Because there's at least a 50-year span, like around the end of the 1800s and the beginning of the 1900s, that this could have conceivably taken place in.
Bell invented the telephone in like the 1870s, at least 1880. So we know it's 1880 forward to the point where people aren't catching early trains anymore. So it's got to be before the advent of commercial air flight. So,
right.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever actually find out for sure.
I mean, it's for the best, really. It's better.
Yeah,
that we
probably.
know.
But Jeremy, would you recommend Stitches? The Riff.
I would definitely recommend Stitches. The Riff, yes, not the movie by itself, because the movie by itself has some serious pacing issues.
Big problems.
But the Riff definitely helps it, and there's some really good stuff in there. The line about reading 50 Shades of Me,
that
got
was
a great big laugh. The line about asking for double meat at Subway actually got a huge laugh out of my wife.
Do you know what I really loved about the Riff is that they seemed as genuinely confused because about what was going on as like the audience would be, because a lot of times RiffTrax kinds of, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but a lot of times RiffTrax kind of just like, okay, here's a joke. In this one, it really did seem like they were along with us, like doing the whole WTF thing. Kind of like, another riff that does this very well is The Guy from Harlem. So it really did feel like Mike, Kevin, and Bill were with you, were on the same level as the audience as far as like, what are we watching the whole time? So I appreciated that about the riff a lot. So I think that's what makes this riff quite enjoyable, and I would recommend it as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a quality to films of this nature. Like another recent movie like this would be Suburban Sasquatch, where it's just questions of why this is happening. Yeah. So I would definitely recommend Stitches. It's available at rifftrax.com/stitches. And that is a totally unbiased plug right there. It's like, I'm not going to act like all of our riffs are equally funny. Like that's just impossible, but this one was very funny, and I think people will enjoy it. It doesn't have, I think it's very family friendly, minus maybe the 50 Shades thing, but I guess they sell those everywhere, so who knows.
There's the one line when she's handing the key over to the horny husband guy. Outside of that, it's
like,
not,
I want you
like,
to F me. I was like, whoa.
It's not super violent. Like when she slices the lady's neck, like it cuts away.
Yeah.
Oh no. When she slashes her neck, like you don't see any blood.
Yeah, it's like a freeze frame.
Yeah. My God.
Very, very weird for a horror movie.
I have one more question.
It's very light horror. It's not really.
I have one more question before we move on. Is that if Grandma Satan was able, did she have flesh suits for all the guests as well?
So she like cast some sort of like incantation where she could like take the form of any of like the souls she captured. So I think that was some other devil magic.
But then why does she need a flesh suit at all?
I don't know, man. It's not a good movie.
You're trying to put logic in this movie, Dave, and it doesn't work. It has no place here.
I'm sorry.
Our second VOD that we're going to take a look at is the 2017 live show, the Summer Shorts Beach Party.
Woo! And I believe we have Peter to thank for this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No. This is one of my favorite of our live shows. My girlfriend and I actually got to attend in person. Sorry, Jeremy. And I cannot emphasize this enough. There's nothing quite like seeing a large group of people discover the bags for the first time.
Oh God.
Some of my favorite RiffTrax shorts are contained within the show, and I love our VODs, but the shorts sometimes are my favorite just because of how completely, utterly insane the subject matter is we're riffing on, and there's plenty of that in this show.
Shorts are definitely my go-to when it comes to RiffTrax because, I work weird hours. I've got 3 kids, so I don't really always have time to sit down and rewatch, an hour and a half long movie, but I can watch 3 10-minute shorts.
Mm-hmm.
And, Jeremy, are you trying to say that you didn't watch Suburban Sasquatch 6 times like I did?
No, I can't say that because I did, because it was that insane and I had to. But my son also watched that one with me, so it was okay.
But,
there he goes again. But anytime we get something like this, the Summer Shorts Beach Party, the reunion show, the Christmas short extravaganza, I definitely gravitate to those live shows because it's just a big collection of shorts. And this one had some outstanding shorts in it. And it started right off with a great one with Ricky the Raccoon.
Oh, man.
The teleporting mascot about bike safety.
For bicycle safety, yeah. That's...
Yeah. Man, that was such a weird suit, too. Like, he had, like, this goatee thing, like Captain Lou going on.
I think she's from the same planet as Guardiana, only, like that's what raccoons look like on her planet.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre. It starts with a family buying a house, and then like the raccoon shows up, and the realtor's like, "Yeah, he comes with the house," and like they stop questioning it from that point on, and then he just proceeds to take their son away and go through a series of safety vignettes.
And they keep calling him a bear.
He does kind of look more like a bear than a raccoon, though. If I'm gonna be honest.
Are you trying to say that there aren't raccoons that are 6 feet tall and walk on their hind legs and play baseball and etc.?
Look, this year I'd say anything is possible, so I'm not going to rule it out. But in the 60s or 70s when they made this short, no.
I mean, they had the right drugs.
It's true. And drugs are like that.
Yeah, drugs are like Ricky Raccoon. Such a bizarre and a great way to start the show.
Yeah, no, ton of fun. I always love the weird mascot shorts, and this goes up there, with like Soapy the Germ Fighter and Coily the Spring Sprite. It's a great time when people are just trying to create a branded thing to teach safety.
The thing is, and these brands never show up again. Like this,
right?
Right, like Soapy. Like when did he ever show up again? Oh no, wait, Soapy was one of the ones that like dies at the end, like after like Coily. They'll be like, well,
the paper bag.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah. Look, it's still cute to me.
Yes.
Someone thought it was a good idea.
And then from there we got Trace and Frank, the original Mads from Mystery Science Theater. And they did a short called Office Etiquette about a woman in her first office job. And there was definitely some pretty good stuff in there. We had somebody hiding chocolates at their desk and trying to eat it while they were working, and somebody reading the paper instead of working, and somebody sleeping. I know there was somebody on the phone. All this stuff that you see still today. The short did not solve anything.
Yeah, it's all in, like, they're not in cubicles. They're just in desks in, like, one large room. So, like, you're not hiding anything. Like, your boss could see any of this at any point.
Obviously, the bosses don't care either.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's, I guess they didn't learn office etiquette either.
I wish I worked there.
Well, considering it was, like, 1957, you'd probably be making, like, $1 an hour. So,
yeah. And then Mike, Kevin, and Bill came back out and gave us Rhythmic Ball Skills.
Okay,
this is on full display.
I love Rhythmic Ball Skills. Rhythmic Ball Skills was one of those shorts that once it was screened, that was just green light right away. Rhythmic Ball Skills.
You gotta wonder, you gotta wonder what did they make that for and why?
It's definitely to exploit grant money, which is what most of like the shorts we riff are made for.
Oh yeah, like, definitely.
These terribly uninterested children, like stuck in this room against this brick wall, throwing a ball about for like I don't know how long. I hope the parents consented to this. Like, this is just awful.
Drop the ball and then catch it.
Yeah, clockwise.
But why? Don't ask questions.
Use the Rhythmic Ball Skills, which I believe was our 300th or 400th short we've riffed. It was some absurdly high number.
It was the 300th one.
Yeah,
because then Bill did his little poem, right?
Yes, he did do a poem with Kevin on the nose flute.
Yes,
he is an expert nose flute player. If you did not know this about Kevin Murphy,
Kevin. Anytime Kevin does anything musical, it's a thing of beauty.
Oh, it's great. The Samurai Cop Rock and Action theme is on my gym playlist.
Nice.
He's a songbird. Songbird of our generation.
The video for Mutiny of Love is one of my all-time favorite things I've ever seen Kevin do.
Yeah, no, all of the music videos, Mutiny of Love, the Tale of Octoman, what is the? I'm trying to remember the last one. I can't remember. He's a Star Raider. It's all great stuff. Highly recommend. All accessible on our Patreon. Just saying.
Yeah. What is it? $3?
It's $3 a month. You get access to hundreds of posts, great content. Can't get it anywhere else. Totally unbiased plug here. rifftracks.com/Patreon.
We're talking RiffTrax.
Yeah, some great behind the scenes videos and stuff there. Anyway.
Yeah.
enough with the plugs. Let's move back to Summer Shorts Beach Party and Bridget and Mary Jo's riff, The Griper.
Oh my
this
God.
one was about a high school student who just didn't ever want to do anything, and all he did was complain. And then he's haunted by himself.
Yep.
To start doing stuff.
It's a ghost of himself as an even worse actor. Super wooden. Like, if you've seen any of these old, 40s, 50s PSAs, you've seen this acting. It's just super wooden guy clearly reading a cue card. It's not good. It's really not good. But Bridget and Mary Jo are great. I love their particular style of riffing, and I think they knocked it out of the park with this one.
Yeah, we bring them up constantly on here about how much fun it is to watch them do a riff, because you can tell that they're just having a blast doing it.
Oh yeah.
They sound like they're having, a great time, and that definitely transfers over to the experience. But yet, there's still people who, well, if it's not Mike, Kevin, and Bill, I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
We say, ooey.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I wish those people would be a little more open-minded, because we've got, Sean and Connor riffing more. We've got the Blitz, who are great as well. We have the Sketchfest gang, which I also enjoy greatly. Cole and Janet. There's a lot of riffing out there. Open your mind to more riffing.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all.
Free your mind.
Stop being a griper.
Yeah, exactly.
Take the red pill or something.
Oh.
No, don't do that.
No, not the red pill. Don't red pill.
Don't do any of that. No.
If you want to wreck your life.
Yeah. Up next, after the Griper, we had Mike, Kevin, and Bill coming back out and giving us Sentinels of Safety, which, another one of those be careful around the house thing. And this one is notable for one scene. And what is that scene, Peter?
Oh, you're talking about the nail, or you're talking about the gasoline clothes?
Well, it's most notable for the nail through the foot.
Yeah, no, it's pretty grim, honestly. Even with the comedy behind it, just watching someone step on a nail, which I'm sure was done with special effects, and just fall backwards. It's very, very uncomfortable. The whole short is just a series of these easily avoidable accidents. I think there's the oil on the stove, and then they draw flames on the house, really haphazardly.
Yes.
Oh, it's wonderful. So yeah, it's a good time. It's fun for the whole family. Fire and people stepping on nails. Highly recommend.
Yeah, people sitting on chairs and then breaking because they didn't make sure to care for it properly, and the person knocking over the pan of bacon off the stove. Yeah, there's so much. But that nail thing
on it. Yeah, the nail thing is the worst part. Yeah.
It's this. I have the same reaction to watching it in there as I do in watching it in Home Alone. It's the same because I've done it before. I know what it feels like, and it's a very visceral reaction.
Yeah, well, you got the sense memory there. You're hearkening back to your own experience. Someone who has not stepped on a nail, I was also very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's I don't see how anybody could really enjoy that. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody out there, but
it's someone's kink. Don't kink shame.
I don't know, maybe. You think stepping on nails, maybe don't.
Yeah.
Just maybe don't.
Yeah. After Sentinels of Safety, the guys were joined by Paul F. Tompkins for A Touch of Magic, which was basically an automobile sizzle reel for all of the new models of 1967 or something.
A song and dance automobile sizzle reel.
Yeah.
I'll have you know.
Yes.
Yeah, Paul is great. We love Paul. Paul's a very nice individual. And yeah, he kills it on this. He's one of my favorite comedians. Love his cadence, love his voice. He's great.
Yes, same.
And this is a great show.
Yeah, there's a really interesting scene where they're throwing a house party, but they're the only two people there.
Yeah. Awkward.
Yeah.
Is there a song happening when that happens? I don't remember.
Yeah, they're singing about
great
something.
Great.
I don't know if they were actually singing about a party or if they were just singing. I don't know.
It's probably just general singing.
Were they hanging out with their family, having themselves a party? No?
I wish the song was that entertaining.
Yeah, I wish it would have just turned into Birdemic. That would have been great.
And then we wrapped things up with the mega riff of the night. Everyone came back out on stage, and they performed for us the Bags.
Oh yeah, because everyone wondered what the life of sentient burlap sack would be like. Yeah, this is one of those things. It's really rare when we see something that genuinely surprises us, and the Bags is one of those things that genuinely surprised us. Just so bizarre. Can't understand the headspace of the people who made it. Can't understand how no one questioned it along the way. Don't understand how it made it to print. It's absolutely bizarre. But if you want to see two burlap sacks dancing in tandem, you got the short for you.
And being chased by a big burly man that they escaped from.
It's bizarre. Like, why does he want to get the Bags?
Because they're magic. They're magic, Peter. Obviously, he wants them for their power.
Isn't there a scene where one eats the other one? I think stuffs it inside itself?
Yes, that does happen, I believe. Yes, they join together. They form Ultron.
They form Ultron Bags. Bag Ultron. Yeah. That was one of the more garbage seasons of Power Rangers.
Not in my top 5 for sure.
Yeah. And they escape by boat or something at the end.
They do escape by boat. they go away into the distance together.
It's what? What is happening?
Oh no, the Bag. Yeah, no. This whole show is worth watching, if only just for the Bags and rhythmic ball skills.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Look, just revisiting this, all of the shorts are great, but the Bags and rhythmic ball stills are so good that they just stand out completely.
I do gotta say that I was still thinking about, because I had to go watch this one at a theater, because at the time my theater was getting remodeled. So I had to go watch this down at a theater about 40 miles away. And I left the theater thinking about the Bags. By the time I got home, an hour later, I was still thinking about the Bags. And most of my memory of that night is wrapped up around the Bag. I had to be reminded about the ball thing. I had to be reminded about the raccoon guy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this other, a lot of the other, the rest of the night, I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I remember the Bags a lot. So that tells you how. Yeah.
Usually, right after the live shows are done, Dave and I are messaging each other, talking about it, and yeah, that's all he would talk about was the Bags.
It's I had so many questions. Are they evil? Are they dead now? What? I was just it was entertaining, but the Bags is also very disturbing on multiple levels. We were talking about rhythmic ball. Why was this made? The Bags was somebody's vision.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Someone I'm gonna write this. I'm gonna choreograph this these dances that they do. I don't know if it was made for children because it would upset children, but it certainly wasn't made for adults. So I'm not sure what.
Yeah, it was very, very bizarre. And then of course there was Jeffrey Lewis showing up as a traffic cop.
Yeah, because why not? Sure.
It's like, hey, wait a second. I recognize him. That was
There's a light in the dark, being able to recognize something in the bags.
Kind of help you keep in touch with reality.
Be like, well, there is a world outside of the bags. Remember this guy? You're going back to that world eventually.
I don't know. Maybe we're still in the bags. Maybe that explains everything.
We've been in the bags for the last 3 years.
Here's the summary of the bags.
Oh, great!
It is a non-narrative fantasy about 2 sacks of junk which come alive and escape their collector, and it is used to express the concept of love, understanding, and humor. And it is for elementary grades.
For teachers who hate their children.
I mean, I wouldn't show this to children.
No way, dude. I would have been terrified if they showed me this in school. Like back when I was like in kindergarten or first grade or whatever. This would have scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, so yeah. Wait, okay, now what year was it made?
73.
73?
Yeah.
I would have expected this was like the height of the druggy 60s. Like,
yeah.
That's what I would have expected for this. But hey, I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
the world doesn't make sense anymore.
We don't need to justify the bags. The bags can't be justified.
Yeah, this was a very fun live show.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, I definitely loved watching Paul F. Tompkins in there because just like you, Peter, I'm a big fan of his. I really enjoy pretty much anything that I've seen him do.
That's all I got to say about the bags. I mean, like, just
thank you again, Peter, for hanging out with us tonight.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime.
And yeah, if you podcast listeners enjoy podcasts, you could check out my podcast, Prequel, Sequel, Remake, where we take movies that don't have prequels, sequels, and remakes and create prequels, sequels, and remakes for them, usually to futile effort. But, it's available wherever podcasts are sold.
It is a lot of fun. It's a good podcast.
Thank you.
Definitely go check it out. And if you enjoyed the show today, you can always go over to our Patreon and support us. Patreon.com/TrueBlueRiffcast for $2 a month. You can get all of our fun little behind the scenes stuff. You can get looks at what's coming up on the podcast. We have our listener poll and all of our little bloopers and fun little notifications and ringtones that I like to make of Dave when he screws something up and makes funny little sounds. That can all be yours over at our Patreon. And of course, you can go over to the Patreon for Riff Tracks and support them for a couple dollars a month. And you can get Talkin' Riff Tracks and special extended previews and all kinds of little goodies over there. And I'm Jeremy. You can find me online at PBandAwesome on Twitter. You can send me emails, jeremy@trueblueriffcast.com. And, of course, you can follow the podcast at TBRiffcast.
And I'm Dave. Thanks for coming out tonight, and I'll see everybody later on.
We'll see you guys next time right here on the True Blue Riffcast.